Yo, Roo TV is back for another season. Going to start the year off with another classic track walk vid. We're here in Mount Beauty. Every year I have been organising the VDHS Mount Beauty race for the last maybe 5 years. And here we are again doing the track walk for the 2026 version on the 17th and 18th of January. So it's a week out and the track is going to be closed for us to do our finishing touches for the week, so no one will be riding this for the next week. That's where we went last year, our nationals. And this year we're going to start on short course, downhill 2. So you can see that we've really done most of the work, a lot of the clearing, whippersnipping, a fair bit of digging as well. Woo! This is pretty an interesting first corner. So we've still got to do the final blow to get rid of all this leaf litter. So it's going to be looking buff by the time you guys get here on Friday afternoon ready for Saturday practice. So we're still on short course, but we're going to exit short course now. This year we've just opened up this new line across this camber. It's pretty slippery, and then we're going to go across this track, which, look at that, it looks super awkward. That's what you'll be running into. And then coming down this left-hander. This has only been open for like 2 days, and this is the result. You know, not going to be on a super clapped out track like last year was. Last year was just destroyed by the time practice even started. So now we're going to transfer down onto a track called Downhill 1, 1999. Obviously it was built in 1999 and raced international champs. They would have raced the top of this and then gone on to Big Hill Downhill after that. Nathan Rennie, Chris Kavarik, Scott Sharple's days. These corners are awesome. Heaps of support in these just because they've worn out over the years. And we'll come into the next straight. So everyone has been riding down the single track, which you clearly obviously should do, but I'm actually going to come up here. And I can't see one tyre track here, so literally no one has ridden this line. Yeah, no tyres at all. So you're going to be coming across this camber here, over this fallen tree, which is going to stay across the camber. You've got to hold this high line all the way. Little hole here to avoid another fallen tree. So there's the track down there, it used to be down there. So everyone's been riding down there, so everyone's going to have a clean slate come race day. So we've got two lines now. We've got an outside line, or this little sneaky inside, which can set you up for this. This corner's really nice. Or we can go wide and drop in even better. It'll be a better entry, but it could, you know, you're going further, so you'll have to test out which one's going to be faster. Here, back onto the track. Pretty straight single track here. It's about to get pretty awkward. This corner here, Marcus Kessler. Morning light coming through here is amazing. So come up here first thing, please. This berm is awesome. Look how deep it is. Just worn out with age. So you're going to be railing through here. We could keep the inside open here, but I don't think it's necessary. This hard pack here is just so fast. Look how deep that is. That's just from 26 years of worn out riding, and it's super wide, so you can get both pedals in there quite easily. A couple of little line choices here. You've got the wide line or the steps. I'm going to walk down the middle to show you both. The steps, obviously they're steps, so you're going to be a little bit out of, not as in much control, but they do set you up better for the next corner if you continue off that step here. These corners down here are old school. Look at this big root coming into it. So you could skip over these roots, and then as soon as you get over this last root here, you're into this corner, which just doesn't exist. Built back in the day of 26-inch wheels, a lot more kind of stood up bikes, so they were just designed to kind of turn on a dime. A lot different now than the raked out 29s that you all ride. So these corners are going to be super critical in your race. So I'd spend a lot of time up here, even hiking back up, just to do these few corners. Look at this root. You've got to get across this root to get into this left-hand corner with hardly any support. Little pedal catcher there. And then another one here. So super tech. And then into the final right. You're basically going to have to drop down off that root with both wheels and then turn awkwardly right around here with no berm. I'm pleased to tell you that that's a fair chunk of the awkward track. So, well, having said that, you're going to be turning around here. So this is going to be a super awkward corner. It's going to rut up pretty bad, I reckon. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that so it doesn't rut up so you bars with that tree. So people have been riding down there, you're not going to go down there. You're either going to go down here off the road or through this chute. We're not going to have that line open. We're just going to have this line open. So you're going to be riding down here onto the road. Pretty gnarly. So we've got a little B line for everyone to cruise down here. It's still pretty gnarly, but looking back up over the track there's a drop onto the road there. A little rest spot here before we drop back into short course downhill. So short course downhill, funnily enough, is one of the newer tracks, but it is still super old. I'm going to say, I actually don't know when it was built, maybe like mid 2005 through to about 2010, sometime like that. This berm here, look, we've got a proper berm here for you guys. You're gonna love it. Mount Beauty with berms. We've got a lot more in store for you this year. We don't just have awkward steep rock gardens and chutes. We're gonna have some real fun this year. It looks like pretty much everyone's been railing around the outside here. It'll set you up better for the next corner anyway. Gotta watch out for this tree though. Kind of right at handlebar height. Doesn't look like it's got any damage. Nice little snaky route to get you on the exit. Nice, tiniest little catch berm you've ever seen. You won't be going that quick, I imagine. Oh, this is different. Looks like people are getting up here on the grass, which is interesting. People have been way up here, which is cool. Kind of, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work really that well. This is super awkward through here. So we use this section here to slow you all down for the next section. So this is kind of awkward. This is looking pretty good. Like you kind of get caught on this really nicely now. All this stuff here, see how it's all kind of real dusty at the moment. So this is why we want to close the track for a week before the race. So we can come in here with water drums, pack all this down so it's just looking mint, and then it has time to harden as well over the week. So this is why we wanted to slow it down, because this is a real gnarly root garden drop section. One drop there, not much to write home about there. And this is where it gets real gnarly because it's super awkward spacing. So you've got a drop, a rock right in the middle of where you want to be, and then the last final drop is pretty gnarly. It's about a meter drop. So drop over the rock, through the roots, and then down this drop. Let's look at it from below. Nice catch berm here. We've built this up for you guys this year. It used to actually end there, so now you can rail a little bit further out. So this is looking back up at it. So obviously you want to try and get wide, and then they'll be railing through here. This section's sick. This is like full open World Cup spec section. You got to thank Marky for doing all this. It's wild fast for you guys. It's actually going to be pretty insane. So a nice little kind of natural shark fin jump here. This is actually a fair drop, and it gets real steep through here. Off the brakes. Pretty good catch. Like these roots have kind of supported it really well. And then a nice gap here across these roots. Obviously you can ride around it if you don't want to. It's going to be a lot slower, but this gap's pretty cool. I might measure it out actually, see how far it is. So that gap to landing is 5 meters. Pretty much on the dot, 5 meters. You've got so much speed coming into it though, so it's not going to be very hard to do. You'll come over that little gap, rail through here, a new berm here thanks to Marky. This was super dense, kind of in springtime. Marky came up here and cleared it all out. So it's just warp speed through here now. So you guys can see a lot further down the track, a lot less shrubby trees off to the side. So it's a lot safer going at speed. And this is where the new road gap is. Beeline around the road gap's actually going to be pretty quick. So road gap's kind of, as you'll just turn down here. How's this view though? Amazing. Probably one of the most scenic road gaps in the country now. This is where we live. Pretty amazing. Oh, here he is.
Oh, wow.
Right, so that's the road gap. And then the beeline, as I said before, it's actually not that much slower. And actually your line on the beeline going down the next section is actually really good. So you're not going to lose that much time if you don't do the rock garden. So don't stress out about it if you're worried about time and you don't want to commit to a possible ambulance trip holding up the riders. Let's measure this out. I'm going to get my tape measure out. Obviously, this landing is going to look a lot better for you guys come race weekend. I'm going to be coming up here every night, watering it and packing it down for you guys. So it'll be mint. And there we go. 8 meters. I've maxed out my tape measure, but it's pretty much 8 meters on the dot to the place you want your back wheel to go. So pretty decent 8 meter road gap. It's actually not too bad. Kind of sets Mount Beauty apart from everywhere else that you're going to be going to race. So this is where the beeline's going to come in. So if you can get that high line, you're going to be set up real well and you can kind of relax for the next section. The next section is super awkward. Once again, coming into this berm, this is brand new, so don't be thinking that it's going to be, you know, looking like this on race weekend. It's going to be nice and packed. This is literally like 3 days old, so it hasn't really been packed in properly at all. So don't be alarmed about that. We'll get that sorted for you. And then yeah, so the berm kind of spits you out, so you actually got to come up a little bit higher. So you will lose a bit of speed coming out of it. So test out the inside line if you can. Feel like it's going to work really well. And we'll come down here onto another fire road. We were going to build another road gap across here, but I don't really want to kill anyone. New section again coming down through here is a new really awkward rock garden. So there's multiple lines here. You've got your main line, so you're actually going to be turning pretty much a full 180 in this rock garden. So you've got your main line, which a lot of riders have been taking. You can kind of see where it goes down that way, or you can come around here. There's a nice little beeline around here, which isn't actually that easy either, and it sets you up in a really shitty spot. Obviously we're going to get rid of any loose rocks, and we'll continue to get rid of loose rocks as the weekend progresses, so don't worry about that. Now, oh, that one's a heavy one. Look at this one's come up out of the ground. We've got the 3 kick rule applies here, so if it doesn't come out in 3 kicks, then it's staying on the track. It's not going anywhere. That one's good. This one's pretty loose. Well, that's all good. It's definitely doable. Riders have been doing it. But yeah, you want to spend a fair bit of time here practicing. It's a really good spot to practice too, because you'll be able to come out of this rock garden successfully, or, you know, kind of get spat out down there. And then you can just hike back up this grass here and give it another try. The cool thing about this rock garden is that it spits you out onto this off-camber section, which is super awkward. Classic Mount Beauty. Nothing real easy about this section. Looks like some people have been trying to stay high here, which I recommend you try and do, because this is going to disappear pretty quick, I reckon. So it looks like riders have been just kind of pivoting around this tree. Woo! and then going down that line there, which you can clearly see has been ridden in. So this is not going to be raced at all, this line. So what you guys are going to have to do is kind of stay higher across here. Obviously you can be where I am here, and then you can either go straight down there. So you can see we've kind of built a little catch thing there. We're going to build it a bit better. We've got a week's worth of time to come up and build this. Or you can skirt across here and then turn around this tree with the yellow flagging on it, and this will enable you to get onto that catch from up higher and carry more speed across there. So it's either a rail around or a drop in and slap to get you back across this camber. It's really steep through here and super awkward. Because you want to get high for the next corner, which is one of the most awkward on the hill. Woo! Awkward. Classic Mount Beauty. This is where it drops back onto the old track. Oh boy. And now we're back on the old track, the old short course. I've got a fair bit of work to do down here as well. I'm probably going to close off this inside line because it's just a bit too direct. It's called short course, so I don't want it to be like, you know, super quick, because it's already super short, super steep. So you'll be going around the outside here. It'll be closed from there, so this little inside lane won't be here. So you'll be going outside here as well. So outside to outside through this section. Once again, it's super steep. It's right. 3 kicks, you're gone, buddy. Down through here, nice little catch berm here. Obviously I've still got a bit of random cleaning to do through here. Woohoo! Stuff like this, like these fallen logs, like I'll get rid of these so you're not gonna, if you crash, you're not gonna fall on a log. Obviously that grate's gonna be removed so you don't land on a piece of metal. Really, really fun, kind of old school piece of track. It's yeah, it's just super fun actually. This section here, it'll be a little rest for you guys coming down these corners. Look at this rut. Classic. This bit here is going to be awkward. Still don't know where I'm going to be going here, because at the moment this section's like super gnarly just to roll. There's a little gap, obviously you gap off this rock and kind of land awkwardly down there, but this, luckily this tree's dead as, so we could actually get rid of that tree and you'll be able to roll around the outside. But if I do that, will anybody go down here? This is the question that keeps me up at night. Something to ponder for the future. Obviously we're going to get rid of that stabby McStab face stump. This is quite a infamous little rock garden. This is basically this year's shoot. So the problem we have here is everyone has been riding on the inside here. So this inside line, you can look at the traffic, it's insane. That's all new, it's just a giant rut. So what's going to happen for the race is the bunting is going to be here. So you're going to have to ride down this rock. Either you'll be able to turn off and go down here, or you can ride down the whole rock. I'll get rid of that tree and kind of roll down here and then go off the rock down that way. Cool rock garden feature. I'll show you from below the different lines from there. This is looking down, so you've done the step, you've come off the slab rock, outside line, inside line. Both lines go off this rock. So this rock down to there is about a meter drop, but as you can see, like, you can land anywhere down there. It's super safe. So you can either come out here. I'm actually going to bench this berm in, so it's a super cool Medina-esque berm for you guys to rail all the way down the next section. So if you come out wide here, you're going to be able to keep so much more speed. Whereas if you come down this section and go straight, there's a nasty little drop right at the exit. So you come off this drop and then you've got to turn and go that way. And that's flat right there. So if you don't have any momentum, you're going to be pedaling real hard. So I recommend coming to look at the whole track, because it's real hard to look at the track through this camera footage and kind of say, oh, that looks super easy, because it's not. It's awkward and steep. Fast bits to really slow sections, so there's a lot of brake modulation going on. So I very much encourage you to come and do a track walk. Anytime this week, you can come up. The next section, super far. When I talk about clearing stuff, I kind of mean like that shrub there. See how you kind of can't see the track through there, so I'm just going to shave that, you know, that shrub back, so you guys will be able to see around the next corner and see if there's anyone down or see if there's an obstacle in your way before you get to the point where you can't stop. And this section here is just absolutely warp speed. So you come off the rock garden, few cranks, and then it basically just goes straight for quite a long time. A few little root jumps, couple of little root gap. That little tree there, that dead thing, that'll be gone because that's pretty deadly looking. Straight through here, we're just going to keep this wide open. We might do a little bit of kind of rut reduction work through here just to keep it a little bit safer so you don't get cheese edged. But yeah, we're still going straight. We have not really turned. Outside, inside line, both of them are just as good as the other. Little drop there. That stump will be gone obviously because it's going to stab someone. Bit of a drop here, about 1 metre. Coming into another classic Mount Beauty flat corner. And then straight again. So yeah, you'll be able to hold your speed all the way down here, which is why when I talk about that rock garden, the exit speed that you carry is a lot more important than the entry speed. So when you're coming off that rock, just take your time, line up that corner really well and come out of it a lot quicker, because this is where you're going to get all your time in the race, down this section. Looks like a little highline up here is developed. I don't really know why. You let your 29er wheels rail through that stuff. Tiny little bit of uphill, you won't notice it. Little outside bench which is developed, that's kind of cool. Fast. These corners are sick. Not much support, but you don't really need it because you're not turning that far. Little split line again, looks like a little Sandhill line's opened up on the inside here. More lines down here. Inside line here, that actually might work quite well. Will it though? Let's have a look at what the exit's like. Heaps of support out wide here. Yeah. Inside's just pointless, guys. Don't even try it, because what you got here is pretty wild little gap. So once again, it's about a 5 metre gap from this stump down to that stump. It's not really a landing. So you have to actually gap over that, and there, that's what you're landing on. But it's actually still quite steep, so you'll be landing through here on warp speed. Obviously I'm going to get rid of that tree there, because you kind of have to duck under it. We are down to middle track already. See how quick this track's going to go. You're going to be flying. Oh, here comes Coop. Another new section coming up. I'm super excited about this finish line section for you guys. It's all brand new. Actually, the last jump we built was built yesterday. So what we've done is created a new ending to short course and made it a bit longer. So now you're going to come up here. This is the ultimate bus stop. Still quite flat, a little bit off camber. You won't really need to pedal that much, because as soon as you turn down here, it just goes straight down the hill. We're going to dump back onto middle track for a second. It's really hard to see how steep this actually is. It's actually super hard to walk down here. And then we have this sick fly off that we built the other week. So you'll be able to land kind of infinitely down here. I might even have an unofficial long jump contest off this. Might bring some, 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 metre signs. Very unofficial long jump contest where the winner wins nothing except my admiration. So you'll be able to keep coming straight down here. You can see everyone's been riding down there. That's not where they're going. So I wanted this to be like super fast so you could land anywhere you wanted, and then you're going to be still coming straight down here through this grass. We've still got to whippersnip all this, but we haven't been able to do it because of the total fire bans the last few days. And then we're finally going to turn in here. So from the fly off down to this section, pretty far, probably 40 meters. So you'll be able to keep a lot of speed off the fly off. So you'll be able to go as far as you want. Through these ferns, obviously we haven't been able to get rid of them yet. I kind of tempted to leave them in because it's kind of funny, but I will not. And then we've got a real awkward off-camber section for you guys. Wouldn't be Mount Beauty without another awkward off-camber. So across here, where the guys have been riding here has actually made it a lot harder. And you'll be able to get to this part here and get on the gas, start pedaling again, as it kind of gets a bit flatter, a little less awkward. Super cool. This got built a while back, so it's already a bit flat, but I'm not going to be able to rebuild it in time. Cool shark fin. And you'll be landing, hopefully you'll be landing kind of out here a little bit, because the next jump is super fun. Obviously racing you want to keep low, but have some fun on these jumps before you get to racing, because yeah, you can get some good pop off this. Little shark fin here to a little kind of rounded off landing here. These are going to get, you know, filled in with some nice dirt. And then we've got a super cool just roller to yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. From here down to there, my tape measure is not long enough. I'm going to say it's about 10 meters, maybe a bit further. So you'll be hawking down here. You'll be landing about here, and then you've got another drop to deal with here. Woohoo! Super slippery still. And then back into the classic Mount Beauty grass. Another little off-camber corner for you guys. You're going to be turning across here. Won't be too bad, but you'll be hooking off those jumps. I'm going to go through here, a little divot. You're going to pre-hop into this. So I've got to clear all this out still. And another flat corner. Some guys might remember this from when we ran Big Hill. Ultra muddy day that we had, but the rest of the track was just perfect. But when we came down here, it was just a total mudder. We've actually put some drains through here now, so it's not going to get muddy. Down through here, obviously we've still got to clear all this out, clear the drains out so they run properly as well, clear out all this grass. This corner's actually held up pretty well. Coming into the finish, you guys might remember that we used to just go straight down there. I'm going to punish you a little bit this year. So instead of going down there, we're going to have a little shitty sprint. Just to kind of get the last of the gas out of you guys. Pretty much to the bottom of that tree for the finish line. And that's it. Track walk done for the 2026 Team Mount Beauty Vic Downhill Series. Celebrating 20 years of Victorian Downhill Series mountain biking. Alright, that's Review TV done for the track walk Team Mount Beauty. Hope to see you here race day. Entries close on Tuesday, and yeah, hope to see you guys here.